Welcome to this month's edition of The Reluctant Coach. I called the newsletter The Reluctant Coach because, in my view, taking up the role of being a coach is very demanding and very time consuming, and it requires you to develop all sorts of skills and attitudinal changes, and it's a journey. And of course, it's very easy to opt out, because the immensity of the task can become overwhelming at times. So I guess I gravitated naturally towards talking about self-sabotage in this issue, because although as coaches we may be charged to assist people who are suffering from self-sabotage, the fact of the matter is, as a coach, you are very liable to succumb to it yourself. Hi, I hope you'll excuse this minor interruption. I just wanted to let you know that in September 24, I'm putting out an online learning program called The Foundations of Personal Development Coaching. It's for people who are interested in becoming a coach. It's for people who are interested in personal development. I will bring you updates as we go forward. And now back to the podcast. So I guess it's a good idea every so often just to take stock and just give yourself a bit of a pat on the back, just to show yourself that you are improving and you are increasing and getting better traction with a lot of the endeavors that you must undertake. For example, social media and marketing, well, that's a whole area in itself. I personally have had to do a lot of work to learn about social media and marketing, and I thought I'd crack it in a couple of months when I started. How wrong I was. Here I am, a year in, and I'm only just beginning to achieve toddler stage, in my view. So I guess I'm entering into the terrible twos when it comes into social media. I've learned so much this year. One of the focuses, of course, is how you can be apparently sabotaged by, quotes, the algorithms. And then you'll hear another self-appointed guru or expert in their field say, no, the algorithms don't matter. All you got to do is produce good content. The issue I've faced is busting open the door, getting to a magic number where the algorithm takes notice of my existence. And I will just have to keep plugging away until I get that right. Well, self-sabotage can take another form there. You can end up not doing it. My advice is to backfill and binge create as much material as you can while you are still keen and before you become a little bit more informed in your pessimism, so that when you do encounter a downtime, you can draw on a lot of the stuff you've been doing over the previous year or 6 months. Another area of self-sabotage is the area of self-development. It kept me back from coaching for quite a while because I was thinking to myself thoughts like, well, if you can't get your own life in order, what makes you think you can help other people get their lives in order? And then I had an aha moment. The truth of the matter is, often it is people who have experienced the downside of life and who have taken some of the blows and the slings and arrows. They're better qualified often to advise other people than somebody who never had to face adversity. And then you have the other area of business, setting up coaching as a business. If you feel fallible in any degree, it might mean that you end up giving away the goods for free because you feel on some level that you're not, quotes, qualified to command the fees. Or what's wrong with that is that you might practice your coaching on a few people. However, the people who are going to take up your services for free are going to be people who lack commitment to change. Often the people who will take up your services for free are going to be the kinds of people who actually just require somebody to listen to their problems, but have very little incentive or desire to remedy their problems, fix their problems, or to work alongside you in order to make things better. So the old saying is, you don't buy the cow when you're getting the milk for free. You have different categories of person, in my opinion, who become coachees. And I've come to the conclusion that people who are very vulnerable, very fallible, and very weakened and very needy are not good coachees. This is not to say that they're not good people. However, I would suggest that their needs extend beyond mere coaching. Now, you can have the likes of Tony Robbins, who can tell you that he can talk down suicide potentials within 7 minutes, or he can change people's lives around in an instance. Great, that's good marketing for Tony, and I fully endorse what he's doing. But in my experience, people who are most entrapped in their own negativity are the least likely to respond well to coaching, and they're the least likely to want to pay for coaching. So they'll give their services to you for free, but you won't get much back. Apart from, perhaps you can set up schedules, you can work out ways to develop resources, and it can give you a little bit of experience about some of the pitfalls of dealing with people who are trapped in a negative cycle. To go back to my initial point, in my experience, the majority of people who respond well to coaching are already strong. And in that I mean they've become aware of their own limitations, or they've become aware of the fact that they're getting in their own way. And what they need is some discrete, targeted interventions and assists and technologies from somebody who can provide that service. Well, that's got to come at a cost. And so one of the ways that we tend to self-sabotage as coaches is by believing we're not worthy and believing that we should be giving away the goods for free, which of course is attracting the wrong people, which is negatively impacting your performance. Often, if you want to be accountable to a higher plane of endeavor, you have to bite the bullet. You have to deal with people who are operating on a higher plane. So I've talked about business, I've talked about marketing. I haven't really talked about the journey of self-discovery that a coach must engage in, because the self-sabotage and the negative inner voices are going to be very important as you seek to vanquish those dragons. There are certain inner turmoils that we bring that we have to overcome in order to be able to function as a positive coach. To go from a good coach to a great coach, you have to be A, self-aware, and B, willing to challenge your own preconceptions. If you're not willing to challenge your own preconceptions, unfortunately, you're going to allow your mind to become a playground for the self-sabotaging negative inner dialogues you've been carrying for so long. So my advice is to engage and embrace that positive journey towards self-awareness. Don't just talk the talk, you've got to walk it as well. If you're going to put yourself into a position where you want to radically transform other people's lives, you have to be willing to be radically transformed yourself. When I first started out in coaching, I thought it was just being a rescuer, fixing the damaged. It isn't. Coaching is about sitting side by side with another person, encouraging them to seek and find their own questions and answers, and then you gently prompt and provide the means and the technologies for them to be able to enact a plan of attack. It's not the same as telling people that they are worthy or telling people that they can do it. It's not motivational speaking. And of course, a lot of people mistake coaching for motivational speaking. There's a place for motivational speaking, but it isn't in a coaching session. And therefore, you have a situation whereby if you have a misconception about what coaching is, it's going to negatively impact on your ability to A, be a coach, and B, overcome some of the necessary hurdles that you will encounter. Anyway, look forward to speaking to you again in the next edition of The Reluctant Coach. Until then, go well, And remember, self-sabotage can be overcome. You just got to grab it by the throat.